Gomm in the stained glass studio, and I'm going to show you something that is very unique that you may want to try. If you do a search on YouTube, you won't find French coining when anybody talks about stained glass, and there's a reason for that. A few years ago, a designer asked us if we could do some French coining, and so we did. And here's what we did. We made the diamond pieces, and we cut out, by grinding, a little hole, and then we filled that hole with solder. But after I got done with it, I noticed that, see, this one's big, this one's small, this one's about perfect, this one, but every one of them was wrong. They just didn't look right. So I remade the piece, and I didn't put holes in it. Now, Candace is the name of the designer, and she has Maison Design in Salt Lake City, and she just loves us to build windows with French diamonds. In another article, I showed how you could cut diamonds using a jig or using just a strip cutter. But now we're going to show you about coining. Now, before we show you how to do it right, I had to show you that. And that was our first attempt. In this window, we cut the glass, leaving spaces, and it just didn't look right. You notice how bad the corrosion is on the panel? That's because it was never cleaned after soldering. we just put it down and was just, oh, this is just terrible. We knew we were never going to use that window again, except for an example as to how not to do it. To get really good coining, we reasoned that we were going to have to actually apply real coins. So we started with pennies, and they only cost a penny a piece. So when we needed bigger coins, we got sheet copper. They sell 12 by 12 sheets of copper, and then we cut out rounds. One time we tried a scrapbooking punch, which worked great until it got dull. We used those for Candace's windows that went in her store in Salt Lake. Now, as you start, by tinning the pennies, you apply a thin coat of solder to the pennies. You'll find that you need to use a strong flux. We used the strongest we have in the studio because there's a lot of corrosion on old pennies. When soldering, first solder one side by heating the penny and allowing a little solder to melt onto the surface. You'll want to try to coat the surface of the coin evenly. Gravity will assist you in doing this, but the corrosion on the penny will make it a challenge to get the solder to stick. Now, you'll want to use a pair of pliers to turn the coin over to solder the backside. The melted solder will start to ooze out from the bottom of the coin, and this will help cover the edges of the coin with solder. Once you have enough coins for both sides of the window, you'll want to wash off the gunk created when tinning them, because it would be difficult to clean the back of the coin when it's applied to the glass. It would be difficult because it's already applied. Coins will be applied to all intersections of the diamonds where there's room for them. So start by tacking the entire window together. You'll notice that instead of tacking the glass at the intersections like normal, we chose to tack the glass away from the joints. This allows an easier install of the coin. We've tried it both ways. This way's faster and easier. Now you can lay the coin down and center it over the intersecting lines. Hold your iron directly on top of the coin and allow the solder to melt under the coin. you'll see it melt on top, and then you'll see a little bit of solder run onto the copper below the coin. The only trick here is to apply even pressure so the coin doesn't start to slide around. Next, create a bead of solder up each of the lead lines that go under the coin. You bring the solder right up to the coin. Then you heat the whole top of the coin so that everything is smooth. You may have to rejoin the lead lines to the coin if too much solder runs under the coin and creates an undercut next to the coin. Then you continue on soldering a coin at each joint, and when you turn the panel over, simply line up each coin that you place on the back so that it's directly over the coin on the bottom of the panel. And that's how it's done. Now, here is a picture of some insulated panels ready to be installed. You know the job's a success because they look like ancient old world windows that have been rebuilt. And there you have it, a truly unique soldering technique that just looks fabulous. Makes your windows look like they have old world charm. We call it French coining because Candace does French decorating. Thanks for being with us. If you'll subscribe and hit the bell, we'd appreciate it. Get your friends to watch our videos too. Thanks.